This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
Let's turn our attention to the Charity Spotlight. The Spotlight is brought to you by...
The Charity Spotlight Day is brought to you by Holiday Ranch. This little country gem is located about, Danny, took us just a little over an hour straight west out of Highway 44. You get off at the Cuba exit and go south, which is left, and it's not more than a mile or so down on your right, but you got to check it out. It's our good friend John Eilerman, his sister Mary Beth, and the whole family is involved in this. It's a country golf course, little push-up greens, but man, it's beautiful. They've got brand new carts. They've got GPS in the carts. They've got a brand new sprinkler system. It's green as can be. It's beautiful, and they've totally renovated the restaurant. So the Back Nine Saloon, you got to check Fran's out. I mean, it's a cool place to have a cocktail and maybe commiserate after your round, and then get a sandwich or bring a bachelorette party down there, a boys' little weekend golf boondoggle, something like that. But Holiday Ranch is fantastic.
Okay, we bring this up as the Charity Spotlight because it's the 1-year anniversary of your book. You came out with it. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. And proceeds of that book went to Folds of Honor and also the Evans Scholarship. So now we bring in Will Saulsbery, and Will was the co-author of that book. Again, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. It's the perfect time, by the way, with Father's Day right around the corner. There's a shameless plug.
Hey.
But Will also has a new book coming out. We wanted to get this on because Jay loves baseball. His dad was a Major League player. 50 Forgotten Cardinals, the short story of 50 lesser-known and sometimes forgotten St. Louis Cardinals. Bob Costas on the cover. We also have Tony La Russa with the forward. So looking forward to that. Will, thanks for coming in studio. Great to see you.
Hey, great to see you guys. Thanks for having me back. I love coming in here, being on the big leagues, you know.
Another book. So how many books now have you written? I know this is going to probably just plow through mine. And
I don't know about that. Well, our book we did together, your book, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. I was trying to challenge it for the longest title ever, so that's why I gave the subtitle on mine.
I think I still get it, though.
Hey, Father's Day is coming up.
Yeah.
It's baseball season. It's golf season. Both books get a 2-pack. Do that. But
why not?
Yeah,
this is
Saulsbery
book number
special.
3.
Let's go.
Hey, why not?
This is Saulsbery special.
Let's go.
It sounds like something you should have at dinner.
Yeah, I'll take the Saulsbery
Paul
special.
Manos. Talk to your friends at Paul Manos. Get the Saulsbery special down there.
Man.
Saulsbery
Good
steak, some bolognese. Come on now.
Yeah.
I want to start with this. You wouldn't believe me if I told you just the response now, a year removed from writing the book. Jay, I'll get your thoughts in a moment, but Will, how about for you?
It's overwhelmingly positive. It makes you feel so good. We spend a lot of time on it, a lot of effort, and everyone loves it. I mean, they're quick, short stories. People love tearing through the book quickly and just positive, whether it's professional reviewers, people we know that just read it. Everyone's loved it. And it's just so gratifying.
It really is, Danny. When you have a complete stranger come up to you and, he could listen. I had plenty of those guys say to me about my golf game, "You suck." So people are like that out there, and we've had so many positive, kind words where they're like, "Man, I didn't know." Most guys will go, "I really didn't know that was going on while you're playing golf." I'm like, "Yeah, there's a lot going on while you're out there."
So now, a year removed, what's the most common story of the stories that you guys get? Meaning, like somebody comes up to you and says, "Man, I love that part of the book. It was this one right here."
Well, I got to tell you, I just Will and I were just down at Dalhousie, which is such a great spot down in Cape Girardeau, and we were doing a little outing with Spectrum, and had some of their customers down there, and I played with a guy who had never heard of me. He had never heard of our book. Well, he got a book. And Danny, I'm on the way home, and he starts texting me. Chris, great guy. And he goes, "You play with James Bond?" I mean, because that's the first story out of the hopper. And then he started, so that one gets a lot of play. Well, I don't know, the near fist fight at the
Glen Abbey gets a lot.
Glen Abbey gets a lot of play. Scott Hoke. Yes.
How about for you? Is there one that stands out that always people are coming up and saying, "Tell me more about this story"?
Oh, the John Daly stories get a lot of play. Yeah. They love that. The alimony one, and then the bags full of $100 bills, which is just so If you told that about any other human being, they'd be like, "You're not telling the truth."
You are lying.
But you're like, "It's John Day." They're like, "That tracks."
Yeah, that's fine.
So that one, they love that. And then, the Scott Hoke story comes up a lot. I know,
There's not a lot of near fist fights on the PGA Tour.
I know your nephew Taylor talked about that on the Tony Kornheiser show. He's like, I didn't know my uncle almost got in a fight with a guy on a golf course. It was awesome.
Well,
so those are the big ones.
It happened to be at the perfect timing because we're in the middle of that rain delay and the golf course just got empty so fast and there's just two idiots standing out there with their caddies and an umbrella.
As you guys reflect on it, is there one story or two that you wish you would have included in the book? You say it hit the cutting room floor, but man, in retrospect, I wish I would have included that.
Well, we didn't hit the cutting room floor. He didn't hit the cutting room floor. He didn't tell me till after we did the book. It was a story Stan Musial just shows up at a pro-am, and he's like, "Can I play with you guys?" You're like, in your head, well, you're Stan Musial. You can do whatever you want in this town.
Well, yeah, I mean, so we're in Orlando, Danny, and Stan just comes out and he goes, Delsing, can I play a couple holes with you? We hadn't started yet. I just meet my group, so it's me and 4 amateurs. And I said, hey, fellas, I just meet these guys. And when I get in a pro-am, I'll be like, okay, your name is Dan and you got a white shirt on. Your name is Will. You got a blue hat, just so I can keep the name straight till after about 3 or 4 holes. And I got everybody. But I'm like, hey, fellas, anybody mind if Mr. Stan Musial plays a few holes with us?
That's awesome.
They looked at me like, are you punking me?
Like, you can leave.
What's wrong with you? Like, you go, we'll just play with Stan, But the best was, Danny, he stands up there and he was kind of frail from one of the surgeries, because he had multiple bouts with cancer. And he steps up with this little 5-wood, and I guess Stan wasn't a good golfer anyways. That's the only time I ever seen him even swing. And the 10th hole is I don't know if it's a short 400-yard dog leg to the right. There's bunkers to the right, trees, and then a boundary fence where they put that mesh, like they do at Bell Reeve and things like that. They put these little mesh fence up to determine the boundary in the OB. And he stands up there and he doesn't hit this thing, but probably 70, 80 yards. It's got a low duck hook on it. One bounce and hits the fence over there. And I'm thinking to myself, should I say something? And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to say anything. And he walks right by me and he winks. He goes, hey, Dels, another one off the wall.
That's awesome.
I know. And I was like, that is the best. I heard that his attitude in his brain was unbelievable. He'd say, I feel hitterish. I feel hitterish coming to the ballpark expecting to have 2 or 3 hits every single day. So
pretty phenomenal.
Yep. Really special.
How about, are people still buying the book? Are you still getting interest with it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I check our rankings on Amazon. Last month, I think we were still in the top 20. In golf biographies, which is wild. You can get it there, get it straight from Jay's website. Every time we talk about it or push it out, you see the sales tick up. You can watch the rankings. It's crazy.
How about this, D2? We started, looking at Amazon. I have no idea about this stuff. And we're like, okay, because we got as high as what?
Number 1.
Yeah.
We get the number 1 in golf biographies.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so, D, I'm
glad you're following your own book.
Who was around there? And when I looked, we were like 6th, and we were behind Andre Agassi.
Yeah.
And I go, when did this guy start playing golf?
Exactly.
Like, what are we talking about?
It's always just, if the top 50 books, 40 of them are either about Arnold Palmer, Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah.
And then there's like scatters of other ones.
Yeah.
So it's always that.
Yeah.
You're going to be behind those. But we made it up to number 1, man.
Yep.
Jay Delsing, best-selling author.
I know, Will, you're happy you did the book because you convinced Jay to do the book. Now, a year removed, Jay, are you happy that you did the book?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. First of all, I got to meet Will, who's now going to be a friend of mine for the rest of my life. We had so much fun doing this thing. We really did. We went through quite a bit of tequila.
Oh, yes.
Just saying.
Okay.
And Cooper,
Cooper the dog.
Cooper the dog was always involved somehow. If we could,
he suckered me every time.
Oh,
He'd just stare at me.
Yeah, I was like, all right, come over here, I'll pet you. No, but it was fun, and it's just nice to have it. Like once you see it and you get to hold it, like I'm holding your new book now, it's just special.
Yeah.
There's this sense of accomplishment, or it's like, oh gosh, this is a real thing now, and it won't ever go anywhere.
So how many sports books do you want to write? Is it limitless, or where are you at with this?
If it's a project that interests me, I'll just keep doing it. I have fun doing it. Make a little money doing it, and then you have these amazing experiences. You meet good friends, and as many as I can do.
I know this dude that's 4 Emmys.
Me too.
And he could be a good subject for
There is not a chance, not a chance in hell I would ever do a book. Never. That's 100%.
Danny,
never.
Mac, think of some of the chapters.
The 20 greatest games you ever called.
That's the whole reason I don't want to do one.
I'm thinking the 20th calls and the 20th greatest calls in Cardinal history.
Oh, stop. All right, the book with Will. We're going to switch subjects very quickly because I don't want to go down this road. 50 Forgotten Cardinals, the short story of 50 lesser-known and sometimes forgotten St. Louis Cardinals. The foreword by Tony La Russa should be pretty cool. We'll get into it when we come back. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
On the tee, from Sweden, Annika Sörenstam.
Hi, this is Annika, and you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
Welcome back. It's Golf with Jay Delsing. Glad that you're with us on this Sunday morning with Jay Delsing. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Again, our guest is Will Saulsbery, and you know Will because he wrote Jay's book. You wouldn't believe me if I told you, but he has another book out. We want to promote it, and it's 50 Forgotten Cardinals, the short story of 50 lesser-known and sometimes forgotten St. Louis Cardinals, the foreword by Tony La Russa, the approval by the DeWitt family.
Yes.
There's a lot to get into, but let's start with why you wrote the book.
I spend way too much of my downtime just tooling through baseballreference.com, as I'm sure you have as well. And I came across the name Icebox Chamberlain. He's number one on this book. And I was like, how do I not know about Icebox Chamberlain? And that just started a rabbit hole. I was like, there's so many of these great players that put up insane numbers that I don't know about, or I forgot that they played for the team. And I thought, this will be a good book. And it just kind of started like that probably a year and a half ago. And I worked on it intermittently till I got it done last fall.
You ready for this?
What?
72 games. Icebox Chamberlain, that is. I know, Danny, you know this.
Oh, yeah, sure I do. Who doesn't?
72 games, 46-18 record, 1 save, 2.88 ERA, 568.2 innings pitched, 273 Ks.
When did Icebox play?
He played here 1888 to 1890, and I think one year he threw 423 innings.
So here's a question,
54 games.
When did you start looking at, because wasn't 1892 when the St. Louis Cardinals, there's a little bit of a gray area of when the Cardinals actually started to be the St. Louis Cardinals.
Browns, then the Perfectos, then officially the Cardinals. So I just went basically.
See, I'm putting you on the spot here.
All the way back to those teams that were sold, that all that same lineage. So it's all of that.
How'd you come up with 50?
It sounded good in my head. 50 Forgotten Cardinals, as a writer, it just sounds good. It's better than 48, 75,
Okay.
I got another little tidbit here.
Oh, boy.
All right. So, in his first time with St. Louis, Icebox started a game for the Louisville Colonels, in which he pitched the first 7 innings right-handed and then recorded the last 6 outs as a lefty in an 18-6 win.
That's a talented guy.
He gave up 6... But I can't even write my name left-handed.
It's these guys, and I was looking at Bob Carruthers, who's number 2. I think he threw 400 innings 3 times. He started 54 games.
It's pretty cool.
And just like
you think about it, they're like, here's what they were doing. They're walking down the bench and go, anybody pitch today? And he's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to go.
I think by July, you can't even lift your arm.
Right.
On your off day. You're not doing side work.
No.
So you got the foreword written by Tony La Russa.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Thanks to Jay Connect. Tony, I did some work for ARF probably about 10 years ago. Tony's great charity. Look it up. He does a lot for animals. And he remembered me. So he, Jay is like, hey, Tony wants to talk to you. I'm going to give him your number. So I text Tony and I'm like, hey, by the way, I have to call him Tony. You won't let me call him Mr. La Russa. So I'm not being disrespectful. Everyone in this room knows you cannot call him Mr. La Russa.
No.
And so I sent him a text. I'm like, hey, Mr. La Russa, blah, blah, blah. I'd like to, Jay said you wanted to talk. Give me a call when you can. I set my phone down, start to type an email. My phone rings. It's him. So he grilled me for a couple minutes. Then he realized I knew baseball and I respected the Cardinals and I respected the tradition. And then he was kind of all about it. Took him a few weeks to get it done, but hey, I mean, how about that? Tony La Russa.
The Cardinals are a big mark, meaning that it's a big brand, and
Yes.
you have to get their approval to do things outside of, Cardinal business, their own intimate business. So how did you get the Cardinals to say in the checkbox of go for it? Where did that come from, and how did you get them to do it?
Yes, I went back and forth with Mr. DeWitt III. Kind of gave him my reassurance. I'm like, I'll never do anything to make the team, I'm not here to do anything salacious.
Sure.
I'm not here to make him look bad. And then I shared the book with him, and he read the PDF of it, and he said he really enjoyed it. He loved flipping through it, and he really hopes it goes well, which, I mean, he could have said, hey, no, I don't have time for this. And I there's no reason for me to ever be upset about that.
Yeah.
He owns a Major League Baseball team. He's a little busy. So for him to say, come on, what a good family. Your family's been connected to them for 60, 70 years.
Unbelievable. I mean,
They're
Danny,
the best.
When Dad
The
got
best.
traded from New York, he's going from the best team in the league to the worst team in the league in the St. Louis Browns at the time. But he said, this family, the DeWitt family, you're going to love them.
Yes.
They're going to take great care of you. And the original Mr. DeWitt was running the team for Bill Veeck.
Pretty amazing.
And the current chairman of the St. Louis Cardinals was a bat boy.
Right.
Yeah.
Bill DeWitt Jr.
That's what that looked like.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Tell me about, so did you go through the generations of players, decades? How did you come up with the 50?
Yeah, I went through every roster the team's ever fielded to try to figure out, guys that put up insane WAR that I'd never heard of or crazy numbers. So you have pre-1900, and then I have those guys that were there from like 1910 to 1922 before the team really started to take off. And then I went through basically every decade. There's someone from every decade that the teams have fielded, except for the 2020s. The most recent player in the book is number 50, Ledmus Diaz. And and just trying to find one I put in the front of the book. They had to have, if they had a good, fun name, I'm like, they're in. Icebox Chamberlain, Vinegar Ben Mizell, Geronimo Pena. Come on.
Geronimo.
Yeah. Geronimo or Geronimo?
Either way.
I remember when he stepped on his glove and got hurt.
Yes.
I think he was playing second base and came in on a ball that was maybe to his right, too, and stepped on his glove and hurt himself.
Yep. Almost like did a front over back.
Yes.
I'm going down.
I remember that.
So his son won a World Series MVP with the Astros, I believe?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So guys like that, and then guys I forgot that, like John Denny's one. I for some reason I just didn't. He played
He was
right
awesome
before I
in
was
like
born.
78,
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
he?
played
79.
really good.
And then he got in a fist fight with Ted Simmons during a
Right.
game, his own catcher. Got in a fist fight with Rod Carew in another game, and then another game almost got in a fist fight with Reggie Jackson, which he might have lost. And I'm like, this. And then you look at his numbers, then we get rid of him, and then what does he do? There's a theme in this book. We trade a guy we think's done. And then guess what happens? He wins a Cy Young and an ERA title
Right.
with the Phillies. So, yeah.
Did you contact any of the players that are still alive?
Yeah, I've been trying to. Ozzie Canseco, I've reached out to Rich Nye, who's on the cover. When I was a kid, my mom was on a cruise, and he was there with his wife signing autographs. And he became my pen pal for like 2 or 3 years when I was a kid. So I started writing this. I'm like, there's no chance he's still with us. He is. He's still vibrant. He lives up in the Chicago, Naperville area. So I got his blessing on his passage, sent him the book last week. So that's been really cool to he's thinking his mid to late 80s now.
Okay.
And for him to sign off, I mean, that's awesome too.
How about people that have read it, their reaction? What are you getting?
So far, it's only been out for a week. I know Costas, Bob Costas has a quote on the cover. He thought it was really funny and hilarious. He calls it appreciative and goofy, which it is. So, and then Tony La Russa liked it. So I'm like, I'm good. Yeah. If some guy in Crystal City doesn't like it,
Right.
I'd be like, well, Bob Costas does.
Yeah.
So I win.
Well, the fact that Bob Costas, agreed to be part of it says a lot.
Yeah.
Because he's the baseball encyclopedia. Man.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
You said to my favorite ball player ever, Ray Langford, you're the greatest center fielder I've ever seen, and I would have stood in Willie Mays' living room and said so.
Gosh darn right I would have.
Well, you're wrong. But anyway.
That's I know.
So does Ray know that you wrote this in the book?
I don't know. I've only met Ray once at the Stiefel Charity Classic. The only time I've ever fanboyed at seeing an athlete. Because now they're all
He's
my
a great
age or
dude.
younger. That's
Yeah.
what everyone
He is
says.
really a great dude.
And I just pointed at him and I go, hey, And he looks at me like you do. I was like, I'm sorry, you've been my favorite baseball player for 30 years. He's like, nice to meet you. And he's walking away. And his buddy's like, hey, get a picture with him. I'm like, oh, yeah. So I got a picture of me and Ray hanging in my office.
So we have the Forgotten Pioneers, the Forgotten Dynasty Builders, the Forgotten Men of the Lost 50s, 3 Forgotten 60s Sensations, the Forgotten Men of the Forgettable 70s, the Forgotten Few of the Up and Down 80s and 90s, the Forgotten You Probably Remember. Pretty cool stuff. So, how'd you come up with the idea of the titles and how many you kept into a particular decade?
It's, 3 or 4 to a decade gets you kind of through the full, 120, 30 years that I go through. No real stringent, just I didn't, lock myself in anything like that. I just wanted good stories, good players, and just guys that I didn't have to do a lot of work. I just told their story, and it was good enough on its own.
How'd you dig up some of the stories? Because it's, you can go to Baseball Reference and see a bunch of stats,
yeah,
but you don't know the story, the backstory behind some of the stats.
Society for American Baseball Research,
SABR.
.org. The work they do to preserve the history of this game, all
pretty
three
cool.
of us love. So much from there. And just other websites, different articles, the Post-Dispatch, Sporting News, anything I could dig up, Wikipedia, a lot there that led me down different rabbit holes where you learn some colorful stories about, when men were men.
Sporting News was awesome.
Yes.
I love the Sporting News.
I did too.
Read it all the time.
I did too. That had to be great to go through some of the archives there.
Oh, yeah, and I had copies of, I have this Foot Locker down in the basement I hadn't opened probably since I was in 8th grade, and I had old copies of the Post-Dispatch where there's stories about John Denny in there that I don't remember reading, and so those were fun to go through and dig up those memories and learn stuff about these guys that they deserve to have their story told. They're a big part of an important franchise.
Will Saulsbery is our guest again. The book, 50 Forgotten Cardinals, the short story of 50 lesser-known and sometimes forgotten St. Louis Cardinals. Who's number 51?
Wow. I mean, there's some we should have got in. I know I've had my friends reach out to me. They're like, is this guy in there? Is so-and-so in there? And I'm like, no, sorry, there's only 50. But one guy I had him on there, and I just read his bio, and I was like, that's not a good guy. Cut, send away. So I had some of those, but I don't know, from like the last decade.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Of the 50 in there, who's the best player? Are there any Hall of Famers?
Yes.
And, okay, that's what I...
So probably Grover Cleveland Alexander. He came here in his late 30s. 1926 World Series. We're playing Murderers Row, the Yankees. He gets a complete game win in Game 2, complete game win in Game 6, comes back 2 days later, hung over, Game 7, 2.1 inning save, holds Ruth and Gehrig to 1 for 14.
I think Ruth was called out at second base trying to steal second to end the World
third,
Series.
Wasn't it? Was
or
he
maybe
stealing
third, second or third,
What
whatever.
are you doing?
What? The last out of the World Series, the base?
Yes.
Gehrig bats behind you.
I know.
Right.
Hello.
Wait.
I think that's how it ended.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
you're
pretty
right,
sure.
yeah. Yep.
So you had a bunch of guys that were on the cutting room floor, but had a chance to put them in the book.
Yeah. From the last, from my youth, there's so many guys I want to put in there. I was like, Bernard Gilkey, but everyone remembers Bernard Gilkey. Fernando Tatis. Everyone remembers Fernando Tatis. So those guys like that are kind of on the cusp. Too many people are going to be like, I remember that guy. So the ones from my youth, Greg Jeffries is in there, Andres Galarraga, Milt Thompson, someone people forget was here. He was really darn good when he was here. He was in that weird transition phase. Whitey Ball was kind of dying off before Torrey got
The
here.
second half of Andres Galarraga's year in St. Louis was tremendous. And then he went and signed, the Big Cat signed with Colorado.
Yep.
He's in the thin air, but he figured out something in his second half in St. Louis, and then he exploded once he
was
hit the
awful at the
Rockies.
beginning. And
Don Baylor was here as a coach.
That's right.
And he's like, you want to come and play in Colorado with me, Dante Bichette, and let's have ourselves a time.
Yeah, and it worked. I'm
Yes.
sorry, I interrupted you. So some
No.
of the other players, too.
Oh, no. Those are kind of the ones I remember. And then, Bob Tewksbury's in here.
Sure.
One of my favorite guys ever. Just...
Did you get into his post-career and what he's doing on the mental side of the game with a lot of players?
Yeah, that's in there a little bit. But, yeah, I know you know far more about that than I do. But he
pretty
should have
cool.
won the 1992 Cy Young Award.
Had a chance. Yeah, for sure.
He had a lower ERA than Maddox and Glavine, who he finished behind. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I don't know if I agree with you, Will, but it's up for debate.
Pitched. Okay.
Yeah, they didn't like his last name.
So again,
it wasn't Matthew or Glavin.
The book is 50 Forgotten Cardinals, the short story of 50 lesser known and sometimes forgotten St. Louis Cardinals. On Thursday night, you had a big launch party at the Missouri Athletic Club, which was really cool, and a lot of people came out. You're starting to get some of the publicity with television, radio, TV, that kind of thing that we mentioned before. So you're getting the book out there, and people are starting to know about it.
I'm excited. I mean, I think people are going to like it. It's a fun read. There's nothing controversial in here. You're going to read it, and I can tell you this for a guarantee, is when you put it down, you're going to be in a better mood than when you picked it up.
And you went on over with Randy Karraker.
Oh, yeah, the legend.
Randy and
Randy calls this book. I remember those guys.
Yeah,
exactly. He probably does remember.
Well, he remembers everything.
He's like, Bake McBride. Yeah, then he went to Philly. Then with the Cleveland. I'm like, all right. He just pops up like the Rain Man.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah.
Best place to get the book. How do we find it?
Just there'll be a QR code everywhere. Just search 50 Forgotten Cardinals. My webpage, ashtonberry.com. It'll be there. Can I ask Jay a question?
Of course you can. You got plenty of time.
I'm going to put him on the spot.
Yeah, sounds good.
Of all of the Cardinals baseball players you have played a round of golf with, who's the best?
Oh, who's the best player?
The best golfer.
Right, the best golfer. Ooh, that's a good one.
Like if you're putting together a 4-man scramble, you're like, I got to have this guy.
Probably Tom Lawless.
Really?
Pretty good player.
Does he flip the club afterwards?
Yeah.
Like
he does a bat flip.
Yes. Yeah, he does a little bat flip. I can remember when he hit that home run that scraped the wall. Whitey said, if you ever do that again, I'm going to kill you. But Jose Oquendo was really, really good. Could really play.
I played a lot of golf with him. He was great.
Kind of unconventional, but
just like his stance.
Yep.
But he could play.
Yep. Oh, yeah, he could play.
How about the Wizard? Have you played much with Ozzy?
No, not nearly enough. Nearly enough. That guy's got his hands are okay.
A little soft hands around the green.
His hands are okay.
Pretty good.
13 gold gloves, 15-time All-Star. Come on.
Awesome. Okay, one more time. Best place to get the book.
Go to ashtonberry.com/50 Forgotten Cardinals. Just Google 50 Forgotten Cardinals. It'll be everywhere. And just, if you want one personally autographed, you get it there. I send it straight to your home.
Awesome. Great stuff. Thanks for coming in, Will.
Thanks for having me again, guys. I appreciate you.
That's Jay. That's Will. I'm Dan. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.